Now, I did a super lengthy breakdown of this entire report from Politico. It's over half an hour, so I recommend you go check it out. It's super in depth, a ton of stuff, but I wanted to do this in a shorter video because I think this is an important piece that a lot of people don't know. So this is really interesting. So this report actually touches on endorsements from various Democratic candidates, most importantly Elizabeth Warren. You guys remember Elizabeth Warren dropped out after Super Tuesday after she was heavily pressured to drop out, but then she didn't end up endorsing Bernie. She ended up withholding her endorsement. Yang, I believe, had dropped out after, I don't remember if it was Iowa or New Hampshire. It was one of the two. I think it was New Hampshire. And he didn't endorse. Tom Steyer dropping out after SC. He didn't endorse. So it says in this article, around the same time that Biden was consolidating moderates behind him, Sanders attempted to bring the progressive wing of the party fully behind him. He talked to Warren over the phone multiple times after she dropped out after Super Tuesday, a top aide said. He asked for her endorsement, as well as for a nod from Andrew Yang and Tom Steyer, the staffer said. Yang said Sanders, quote, called the night I suspended, congratulated me, and invited me to meet with him, but did not directly request an endorsement. None threw their weight behind him. Quote, he was deeply disappointed that she didn't endorse afterward, said a person familiar with his talks with Warren. It made him question her progressivism. Now, maybe that was temporary, but I think he was very hurt by that because he would have endorsed her in a heartbeat if it was the other way around. And so this is absolutely true, and it gives some insight on the situation. But I think that, and this is a big deal, a big point, and this is something that I didn't really think about until I read about the Bernie campaign basically blaming this as one of the reasons why they lost, was that whole beef with Elizabeth Warren is really unnecessary. And I don't know why Elizabeth Warren accused Bernie Sanders of being a sexist. It was incredibly destructive and totally unnecessary and very weird and odd thing to do. It's almost like the only proper explanation would be like she's like some sort of a Democratic operative, like literally. And I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying the only way to rationalize it is literally like she's being given like trillions of dollars, millions of dollars. Now she's not obviously doing that, but I'm just saying to rationalize something like that, to backstab your friend like that with such a damaging lie, is insane. And so that damaging lie lowered his favorability amongst women by like 10 points. That's something you can't get back. Once you call someone a sexist, they're not, and you know, they believe you, they're not all of a sudden going to warm back to them, right? So that did do irreparable damage. Make no mistake about it. And I'm even thinking that it might have even done irreparable damage for her voters that ended up going to Biden. So she did do a lot. And I remember that whole thing, and it really took a lot of steam. It took a lot of attention off of Joe Biden and the other people that we should have been focusing on, and created this stupid beef that, you know, is sort of like, why are you calling him a sexist? Why are you smearing the guy? You can't lie about somebody like that, man. That's insane. Especially when you're running for president. And she did. And she did irreparable damage to his campaign. And then she doesn't endorse him in a situation where it's Bernie Biden. Very stark, damn near opposite when it comes to fundamentals of positions, right? Quite, you know, verbatim and literally, honestly. But when you've got that going on and you don't endorse them, you've really stuck your foot in the sand. You tell us what, you know, you're telling us who you are. You're not really a progressive. And so, you know, I know I'm sort of a broken record here. I mean, I never want to hear Elizabeth Warren as a progressive ever again. I don't think I will. I hope I don't. But she didn't endorse in 2016. People made excuses for her. This time around, there's no excuses in the world that could possibly come up for this one. And then the Yang and Tom Steyer endorsement would have definitely helped the Bernie campaign a lot, because Tom Steyer is kind of in that camp of the, you know, he's got a lot of cash and he's on CNN spamming impeachment advertisements and all that kind of stuff. That would have been huge for the Bernie campaign for sure, especially as like support amongst black voters. Andrew Yang would have been helpful, you know, wouldn't have been nearly as effective as the Tom Steyer one. But Andrew Yang not endorsing Bernie when he dropped out, also want to point out that Andrew Yang is also a fraud and a sellout. Apparently, he said on the Breakfast Club that Joe Biden actually offered him a cabinet position or a spot in his administration in exchange for an endorsement. And apparently that's illegal. I had no idea, but it's literally statute. Like, that's actually illegal, which is shocking. But yeah, he just admitted to breaking the law on national radio. But he's a sellout, too, for not endorsing Bernie because, you know, again, dude, you can't be a progressive and not endorse Bernie in those circumstances, especially when it's after New Hampshire. I believe it was after New Hampshire. We were winning after New Hampshire, and then we went into roll in Nevada, and it's just like that's the thing, right? So I have to tell you, man, it's really unfortunate here. Tom Steyer, I'm not surprised at all that he didn't endorse Bernie. Maybe a little bit, but not really. Obviously, we know Tom Steyer's roots, but very unfortunate. The lack of endorsements really killed Bernie's campaign as well, because Biden was just showered with endorsements from the corporate sellouts. But Bernie couldn't pull the supposed progressives, and so any of the supposed progressives who didn't endorse Bernie, y'all are frauds, and you exposed yourself. I mean, you would at least think they would want to at least keep the cloak on for a little bit. Andrew Yang's got a far political career ahead of him, right? We're gonna see this annoying rascal running every 4 years from now. So he just totally fucked his record in the anus, dude, like hard, like no lube. Same thing with all the others. You think you're gonna have an argument, be like, yeah, I'm a progressive like Bernie, Medicare for all. No, you can't. You exposed yourself, dude. You fucking lied. Anyways, just embarrassing stuff, man.